Time now for the international press review here on France 24. Florence Villeneuve with us here in the studio. And you're starting off by looking at the Norwegian press and what they're saying about the events in Norway.
Absolutely. We're going to start with looking at Drammens Tidende, which is a popular newspaper in Norway. Now, they actually don't even have a headline. They just have a photo of the flowers at the memorial ceremony that was held in Oslo on Sunday. Now, they have a 19-page special that covers all the aspects of the tragic attacks, including what they call the hours that changed Norway. Now, it's an hour-by-hour account of exactly what happened both in Oslo and on the island of Utøya. Now, all the Norwegian press, obviously, is covering these horrific attacks. We're going to take a look at VG, their online edition. It's the Norway's most read paper. Now, they have profiles of what they call unlikely heroes. Now, there was a group of campers who were near the island of Utøya that was there right when all the events were taking place. Now, at first they thought it was fireworks, and then they started getting calls from people who were on the island that were letting them know what happened, and they jumped into action, got into boats, and started pulling people out of the water, giving them blankets, tending to their wounds. They say they're deeply shocked by what happened, and even though they saved scores of young people, they feel guilty for the ones that they left behind. Yeah,
shocking articles, aren't they? A lot of the international press as well, looking into just who is the killer.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at The Independent. You have 3 photos there of him. Faces of hatred, says The Independent. So they're photos of Anders Breivik in a uniform bearing insignia that has associations with the extreme right and posing with a gun there. Now, the 32-year-old posted a manifesto online the day of the attacks. It's called 2083, a European Declaration of Independence. So it's a 1,500-page manifesto where he outlines just how much he hates multiculturalism and how he was planning on carrying out these attacks. Now, according to an article in The Guardian, his anti-immigration rhetoric is very similar to similar rhetoric in America, and it turns out that he took inspiration from Timothy McVeigh, who carried out the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995 that killed 168 people. And it says that he used very similar firearms, very similar explosives, and followed his model of what they called a leaderless resistance.
And staying with The Guardian, they're also talking about the fact that it's a threat now that's facing the whole of Europe, not just in Norway.
Yes, I thought this was a really interesting piece by Aslak Sira Meyer. He's a Norwegian author, and he points out that though this attack is being described as the work of a lone wolf, it's really a political act as well. And he says that it's interesting because at first people thought maybe it was an Islamic terrorist attack, and there were pledges of support from all sorts of countries. But once again, it turned out that according to him, the heart of darkness lies buried deep within ourselves. And he says that once it emerged that the terrorist was actually a white Nordic man, the whole terms and rhetoric changed. Now it became the work of an individual, and he's saying this is not the case. This is there's a political cause behind this, and he's calling on politicians to use this incident to strike a blow on intolerance and what he calls racism and hatred that's growing across Europe.
Now, in other news, let's go on to Newsweek, because they've got an article to do with Dominique Strauss-Kahn and the exclusive interview with the chambermaid, which we're going to see a little bit later on appearing on ABC News as well, I think.
Absolutely. Now, this is very interesting because here on France 24, we've been talking about the chambermaid, and now we've never really talked about exactly who she is in terms of what her identity is. And so but she's come out into the press now talking to Newsweek. She breaks her silence. Nafissatou Diallo tells her story to Newsweek's Christopher Dickey and John Solomon. Now, she gives a minute-by-minute account of exactly what she says happened in room 2806 on May 14th, a day that would change her life forever. Now, I'm just going to read you a quick excerpt. It's a really interesting read. Now, it says that it's possible that Diallo is a woman who has lived for the last few years on the margin of quasi-illegal immigrant society in the Bronx and associating herself with con artists and dubious types, but that does not preclude her from having been the victim of a predatory and very powerful man. Now, I really recommend this read. It's really interesting.
Okay, one to view. And finally, you're going to briefly mention the death of Amy Winehouse, the international press paying tribute.
All of the international press is paying tribute to Amy Winehouse. We're going to take a look at an article in The Independent where you see a bunch of tearful fans paying homage to the singer. Now, they left tributes in front of her Camden flat in the form of cards, flowers, even cigarettes and alcohol.
Excellent. All right, Florence, thank you very much. That's Florence Villeneuve with the international papers here on France 24. Stay with us.